We want to solve for x. We have 3.156 times 10 to the 6th, and that is equal to 315.6 times 10 to the x. Notice that this decimal moves 2 spots over, so it means we add 2 spots, which means we have to take away 2 spots. So 6 minus 2 is just going to give us 4. So x is 4. Next one, the decimal starts at 0.0, and then you want to end up at 19.32. So this has to go 3 spots. So we're adding 3 spots forward, which means you have to take away 3 spots. So we do 4 minus 3 and get x equals 1. Okay, the next one, here we start at 0.1968745 and want to end up at 196.8745. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3 spots. So we want to add 3 spots, which means we have to take away 3 over here. So negative 2 minus 3 will give us negative 5. Last one, we have 0.003761, and we want to end up at 37.61, so that's going to be 4 spots. You want to move it up 4 spots, which means you should take away 4 spots. Negative 3 minus 4 is going to give us negative 7. So x is negative 7. Moving on to number 5, we have 4.612 times 10 to the 5th. Because we're multiplying by a big number, we want to move forward, so we have to move 5 units over to the right. So the way to do this is count how many places we have to move till the end. We have to go to 3 numbers to reach the end. So we do 5 minus 3 is 2. That means we need to add 2 more zeros. Okay, the next one, we want to go backwards because it's negative 4. We have to go 4 back. But here we have 3 digits to go to the end. So we need to do 4 minus 3, which means we need to include 1 more 0. Next one, the decimal is not given, so you assume it to be over here. And then we move 3 units back, so it's 1, 2, 3 units. So that would be 98.413. For 8, this is 10 to the 4th. We want to move 4 units. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 1609429. For 9, we want to multiply 3 with 1.5. And then 10 to the 6th with 10 to the 4th. 3 times 1.5 is 4.5. And then 10 to the 6th times 10 to the 4th is 10 to the 10th. That's our answer. Same thing with 10. Multiply first 0.2 with 12, and then multiply 10 to the negative 4 with 10 cubed. So 0.2 times 12 is 2.4. 10 to the negative 4 times 10 cubed is 10 to the negative 1. So this is our answer. Okay, this one we want to multiply first the decimal, so do 0.8 times 0.4. And then we'll multiply 10 to the negative 5th by 10 to the negative 6th. 0.8 times 0.4 will give us 0.32. And then 10 to the negative 5th times 10 to the negative 6th is 10 to the negative 11th. We want to write this in scientific notation, so we're going to move the decimal forward, which means we have to take away 1 in the exponent, so that will be 10 to the negative 12th. Okay, for 12, we're dividing, so do 6 divided by 3 is 2. 10 to the 7th divided by 10 to the 4th, just do 7 minus 4 is 3. 13, we have 4 over 8, that's just 1 over 2. And then 10 to the negative 1 over 10 to the negative 3, do negative 1 minus negative 3 to get 2. So that's going to be 10 squared over 2. Which if you want, you can write this as 0.5 times 10 squared, which is the same thing as 5 times 10 to the first power. So writing that in scientific notation. 14, same idea. We do 28 divided by 4. That's going to be 7. And then we do 5 minus negative 8 is 13. So this will be 7 times 10 to the 13th power. Okay, 2x cubed times 2x squared. 2 times 2 is going to give us 4. X cubed times x squared, just add and get x to the 5th. Now with x squared, y raised to the 4th power, you want to distribute the exponent to both the x squared and y. So you have x squared to the 4th power times y to the 4th. Exponent to an exponent, you multiply, so you have x to the 8th times y to the 4th. Same thing with 17, you want to distribute the exponent to 2c and d to the 4th. And then 5 onto c and d. So you have 2 squared, c squared, d to the 4th squared, times c to the 5th, d to the 5th. 2 squared is 4, that's c squared. We have an exponent to an exponent. 4 times 2 is 8. And now we simplify. C squared times c to the 5th, add the exponents. D to the 8th times d to the 5th, add the exponents. And this is our answer. For 18, we can distribute the exponent, but first it makes sense to simplify. So I have 5 over 20 becomes 1 over 4. X cubed over x becomes x squared over 1. Y over y to the 5th becomes 1 over y to the 4th. So now we multiply. We have 1 times x squared times 1. That's x squared. The bottom, 4 times 1 is 4 times y to the 4th. Finally, we're going to raise everything to the 4th power. So you do x squared to the 4th power over 4 to the 4th times y to the 4th raised to the 4th power. X squared to the 4th is x to the 8th. 4 to the 4th is 256, and then we'll have y to the 16th power on the bottom. Okay, for 19, we're still going to simplify what's inside the parentheses. So first, c to the 0 is just 1. Negative 7 over 3 doesn't simplify. A squared over a cubed is 1 over a. B cubed over b to the 4th is 1 over b. And we have c cubed in the bottom. So this is just negative 7 over 3ab c cubed raised to the negative 4th power. So this is negative 7 to the negative 4th. And we have 3 to the negative 4th, a to the negative 4th, b to the negative 4th, c cubed to the negative 4th. The negative is going to make this go in the denominator, so it's really the same thing as 1 over negative 7 raised to the 4th power. And this will be 1 over 2,401 over. Now, 3 to the negative 4th is 1 over 3 to the 4th, which is 1 over 81. A to the negative 4th comes on top with b to the 4th. And then c cubed to negative 4th. This thing is c to the negative 12th, which will also come on top. So finally, I'm going to multiply top and bottom by 81. So this will be 81 over 2,401 times a to the 4th, b to the 4th, c to the 12th. That's our answer. Now we want to arrange from smallest to largest. So it's good to write these in terms of decimals. So 7 halves is 3.5. Square root of 14 is approximately, well, for this one we're going to use this trick. So it's square root of a is equal to a plus b over 2 square root of b, where b is the nearest square. So 14 is going to be a. The nearest square is 16. And then we have 2 over 16. 30 over 2 times 4, which is 15 over 4, and that is 3.75, approximately. Then we have 3.8, negative 4.2. Now for square root of 17, the nearest perfect square is 16. So we have 33 over 2 times 4. That's 33 over 8, which is 4 and 1/8, and that's 4.125. And this is going to be negative. So you want to put the most negative number first. That's going to be negative 4.2. Followed by the next one is negative root 17. Now we have 3.5, 3.75, 3.8. So clearly 3.5 is smallest, followed by square root of 14 and 3.8. Okay, for 21, we want to compute the square root of 33. So that's going to be the number itself, 33, plus the nearest square is 36, over 2 times the square root of 36. This will be 69 over 2 times 6, which is 69 over 12. We know we can rewrite this as 5 and 9/12, which again is 5.75. So right now we have 5.6, approximately 5.75. 29 divided by 5 is 5 and 4/5. 4/5 is just 0.8. And then to get the square root of 13, we do the number itself, 13, plus the nearest perfect square. So it's closer to 16 than 9. And it's 2 times the square root of 16. So it's 29 over 2 times 4. It's 29 over 8, which is 3 and 5/8, which is 3.625. That's going to be negative. So the most negative here is going to be negative 3.7, followed by the negative square root of 13. And again, we go the same order. It's 5.6, square root of 33, and 29/5. Okay, last one. We're given the square root of 29. So this one will be the number itself plus the nearest perfect square. So it's between 25 and 36, so it's closer to 25. Over 2 times the square root of 25. This will be 54, which will be 54 over 10, and that's 5.4. So this is about 5.4. This is 5.4. 29/5 is 5 and 4/5, which is 5.8. This is negative 1.2. Square root of 2, well, that's going to be 2 plus the nearest perfect square, which is 1, over 2 times square root of 1. That's 3/2, which is about 1.5. So this will be negative 1.5, and yeah, that's going to be the smallest one, followed by negative 1.2. And then we have a little tiebreaker here between square root of 29 and 5.4. So this is how we determine which one's bigger. 5.4, I can write that as 5 and 4 over 10, which is 54 over 10, and that's 27 over 5. So in order to see which one's bigger, I can square both sides. So if I square square root of 29, I get 29. If I square 27 over 5, I get, let's see, 5 squared is 25. 27 squared is 729. How many times does 25 go into 729? Well, 25 goes into 104 times. So 700 then will be 7 times that, which is 28. 725 will be 29, but remainder 4. So clearly, this is bigger by 4 and 25ths. So the 27/5 is bigger. That means we should put the square root first. And then 5.4 will be the greatest one. And that is our answer.